Hi, Hardin here, and this is Chapter 1 of CNA 101, and I'm going to cover how I became a CNA, and we have to go all the way back to 1996, and I moved from Virginia to New Jersey, and that was where I made my first attempt to get into the medical field, and I went to school for EKGs and phlebotomy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth are you a CNA if you went to school for EKG and phlebotomy? Well, to really make a long story short, the school screwed me over, and I got screwed over on the student loans on top of all that. And don't get me started on student loans because I still got a bad taste in my mouth about it all. But to make a long story short, what happened was when I got through the classroom part and you go to your practicals, again, it's kind of like clinicals if you're a CNA. You apply what you learn in the real world. You apply what you learn in the classroom in the real world. So that's what it was, and I got sent to a podiatrist's office. Now, why on earth you want to send me to a podiatrist's office, and I'm never going to hook up an EKG machine, I'm never going to read an EKG strip, and I'm never going to draw a tube of blood? I'll never know. But they did that, and I had to go through the entire practicals that way, and they said, well, we'll call you and we'll reschedule it. You know, we made a mistake. They acknowledged they made the mistake. Well, 6 months later, they never called. So I went to Indiana, ended up getting involved with the girl out there, and she felt that we needed a paycheck right away. And the one thing you're going to find out as a CNA, they'll pay for your class, they'll pay for your training, but they're not going to pay you an hourly wage unless you sign a contract. And we'll get into the contract thing a little bit later down the road. Knowing what I know now, I would never sign a contract, and I never did. So she decides that I got to give up this class, that I'm in to be a CNA. So here again, I got to give up the medical field. But before I did it, I just kind of looked up and I said a little prayer to God. And I don't know what your faith is, but I pray. And I just said a little prayer to God, and I said, God, when you're ready for me to have it back again, let me have it. Well, things didn't work out with her, and it was in my best interest to go back to Virginia, which is what I did. And I worked a mountain of odd jobs out there, from motel, fast food, and I got a job at the gas station. That's where I found the ad in the newspaper for the CNA, and it was, you know, they were going to pay for the class. Went down, interviewed, got the job, and went to class, and learned everything you had to learn. Bathing, shaving, brushing the teeth, combing the hair, nail care, peri-care, all that stuff. Bathing, you name it, feeding, you name it. And loved the hospital setting part of it when we got the clinicals. I had a choice between surgical or oncology, and I took the surgical floor because my grandmother died of cancer. I was very close to her, and it was just 5 years down the road, and I just wasn't ready to deal with cancer patients. But that's where I got into trouble, because I was working a full-time job, working the overnight shift at the gas station, and then heading straight to class. Well, I did the same thing with clinicals. Worked the overnight shift, head to class. And I ran into exhaustion, so I had to take a day off. Took the day off, and decided I wanted to make it up. My instructor was going to let me have a pass, but I said no. And to make the day up, I had to do the oncology floor. So for all that jockeying, I ended up on oncology anyway. And got my work assignment done. I mean, I guess I had about 8 patients to take care of. And 8 patients to 1 CNA in a hospital is a good ratio. We'll get into what the ratio should be at the nursing home a little bit later, too. But that was a pretty good ratio. And she goes, here you go, here's your assignment. And my instructor, I'm damn proud and honored to say she was my instructor, a great woman, and she did all the right things. And she pushed my buttons on this day. She hands me the assignment, okay? Says, here you go. I have 1 AIDS patient and 1 cancer patient, and the cancer patient's not expected to make it through the shift. She's going to pass away. I said, whoa, hold on. I said, I'm just starting out. I can't handle this. And she turned to me, my instructor, God bless her, turned to me and said, if you can't handle it, leave. She made 2 good mistakes. Now, there are not too many good mistakes made in this world, but she did it the right way. And she looked at me, but by saying that to me, when she looked at me, I had committed myself. I put all this time in. I wanted every minute of this class. I didn't want to miss a minute. No, I wasn't going home. I was going to do it. And number 2, I don't like being told I can't do something, because then I'm going to go out and do it. And I did it. Now, to make it real quick and short, Cancer patients survive through the shift. The AIDS patient I actually ran into at the nursing home I was working at because his wife worked there. I didn't know it at the time. I put 2 and 2 together later. But I just happened to recognize him, and I said to him, I said, look, I said, don't I know you? He said, no, you don't know me. And the one thing you don't do as a CNA, you don't trample somebody's dignity or their self-respect. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a CNA or not. Don't ever trample anybody's dignity or self-respect. It ain't cool. It ain't the right thing to do. And if you do that as a CNA, get the hell out of the business, because you don't deserve to be a CNA and you got no business being there. Now, to sum it all up, don't let anybody tell you can't do something. And never trample on somebody's dignity or self-respect. That's all I'm going to ask of you. Don't ever let anybody tell you can't do something. So that's how it all begun. We'll get into the nursing home part on the next chapter. I don't want to run over on time. Oh, one more little footnote here. I saw on YouTube where a doctor said CNAs can come out of class and get started at $10 an hour. That might be true in a hospital. Don't look for it in a nursing home. It's not true. You're not going to get $10 an hour to start in a nursing home. If you did, let me know, and I'll admit I'm wrong, but I've never seen it happen yet. In 10 years, I've never seen it happen. So, thank you. God bless. I do hope you subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the videos. We'll catch you later.